10 years ago, I had been learning everything I could about the HSA and I was sold. But I didn't realize how much the decision would impact my life, and spoiler alert, it wasn't about the HSA itself. In this video, I'm going to share what I wish I could go back and tell my younger self. The stuff that's super important but tends to get buried beneath all the hype around the HSA, which I'll be the first to admit is there for good reason. A health savings account is the only account where you get a tax deduction on your contributions, your money doesn't get taxed as it grows, and it won't be taxed when it gets withdrawn, provided that you use it for medical costs. To take advantage of these tax savings, you want to treat it as a long-term investment account and pay for current medical expenses out of pocket. But in order to open or contribute to an HSA, you'll need to be enrolled in a high deductible health plan. An HDHP is a type of health insurance plan with a lower monthly premium but a higher deductible of at least $1,500 in 2023, but they can go much higher than that. I first learned about the HSA when I was working in Japan and bemoaning the fact that I couldn't take advantage of any US tax advantaged accounts because my earned income wasn't from the US, but that's a different story. When I finally got the chance, I signed up for an HDHP to get access to an HSA, and I was super eager. Here's an actual email I sent in March 2018 when my open enrollment was in October. I knew HDHPs weren't for everyone, but I was young, healthy, I went to the doctor a normal amount. I should be the ideal candidate for one, right? There are three main reasons why this didn't work out for me quite like I thought. Quick disclaimer, there are a lot of factors to the whole which health insurance is right for me decision. I am not trying to cover all of them here. This is just my perspective based on my experience only and what ended up mattering for me. The first reason came up for the first time when I started having some pretty persistent lower back pain and wanted to figure out who I should see and how much it would cost. Have you ever actually tried calling the doctor's office to figure out how much it'll be before you go? I had no idea how hard it was going to be to get a confident estimate. Most places wouldn't even give me a number, or they only gave me a huge range that wasn't helpful. It was such a hassle to shop around for the best price, I just stopped trying. Another valuable lesson stemmed from when I had some intermittent foot pain crop up during the year I had the HDHP. I remember thinking I should really go see the podiatrist. I reminded myself that I had expected and planned to pay for more up front. You never know what might turn into a bigger and more expensive issue, right? But what ended up happening is I was like, you know what? It's fine. It'll probably go away. I don't need to spend that. And I ended up not going. Before I had an HDHP, I totally underestimated how disincentivized I'd be to spend money on healthcare, and that it would actually affect my behavior, both consciously and subconsciously, I'm sure. Even though I felt like I knew better. Finally, it was like having a high deductible introduced a new internal battle that wasn't there before. And even when I did let the logical side of my brain win and I went to the doctors, I was like, ugh, I'm annoyed I'm spending that much. But I didn't realize any of this the first year I was enrolled in an HDHP. That was 2018, by the way, so my first HSA became effective in 2019. When 2020 open enrollment came around, guess what I did? I was like, man, that totally tax-free HSA money looks pretty good. Yeah, I decided to elect the HDHP again so I could have the HSA. So 2020 was an eventful year because I got in a skiing accident the first week of March and broke my pelvis. Yeah. So among other things, my peace of mind with an HDHP was not doing so hot. At last, I switched back to a PPO for 2021. The FSA is a nice little bonus, but it pales in comparison to the benefits of an HSA. I do want to mention that what your insurance plan options are each year is such a huge factor. My employer at the time offered a $0 deductible PPO with okay subsidized premiums, so now that I had learned some stuff about myself, it was an easy decision. So today I have my 2019 and 2020 HSA contributions fully invested in a total stock market index fund. Yes! I'm very happy about that. I've never tapped into it and I don't plan to until I'm retired. But I don't want your takeaway to be, oh, she was just unlucky and got in an accident and now she's scared to have an HDHP. Yes, that's all true. And also, I still wouldn't choose an HDHP even if I hadn't gotten in an accident because of the way it changed my behavior and my state of mind. For health stuff especially, I want to make sure the decision to get what I need is the path of least resistance. That being said, if an HDHP is the best choice of the plans available to you for your situation, get an HDHP and HSA and make sure it's invested. But if you're the least bit like me, don't let the awesomeness of the HSA let you gloss over the intangible costs of having an HDHP. And if you do decide to get one, maybe set a calendar reminder or something to check in on how it's going to make sure your healthcare choices are matching what you actually want. But whatever plan you have, get your free preventative check.